Okay, y'all, there's a lot of things that can get you into a fight in prison, but these 10 right here, they're the real deal. You might not even know you're doing it, but it can get you seriously hurt. So if you want to see what I'm talking about, stick around, y'all. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be here, you guys. I'm so happy y'all are here. Happy Friday. I hope you guys had an awesome week, and I hope you have an even better weekend. So if you are returning, thank y'all so much from the bottom of my heart for the support, the encouragement, all the tips, the comments, everything you guys have done. It has been so super helpful. I'm glad y'all are enjoying it because I'm enjoying it too. If you are new, my name is Jen. I've been out of prison for a little under 2 years. And if you don't know anything about me, you can watch some of my other videos. But in a little nutshell, I was in prison for about 10 years. I had a 10-year sentence here in the state of Florida. And my channel is just basically explaining the things that happened and that I saw while I was in prison. And then I have some other stories that are like true crime stories, but I only do the true crime of the women that I was in prison with and what my personal experience was with those women. So whether you're interested in true crime or just a little prison tea, I'm here for you. Let's get into it, okay? I love y'all. Thank you so much for everything you do. And here we go. If you are a prison buff, if you like to know all the juicy details, you watch all those things on TV, Orange is the New Black, Wentworth, Guard Dogs, all that stuff, there is some element of truth to those scenarios, but obviously they're more dramatized, right, for entertainment purposes. So I'm going to give you guys the real deal. Now, before we get into this, let me remind you guys that number one, male and female prisons are very different, okay? The things that go down in the male prison is not what goes down in the female prison. Number two, prisons differ from state to state. So while a prison in California, a women's prison, might have gangs and a lot of violence and all that stuff, in Florida, y'all, I'm just gonna keep it real, okay? The most drama really happens around domestic issues, girlfriend issues, and things like that, okay? You don't see a lot of gang activity. You don't see a lot of breaking up into cliques by, you know, race or nationality or anything like that. It's just what it is. It's just a bunch of girls running around being dramatic, okay? And I also want to mention, if you don't know me, I was at Lowell for my entire sentence, Lowell Correctional Institution. It is the largest prison in the United States of America for females, the roughest prison in the state of Florida for females, and the third roughest in the United States of America. In Florida, it is the only one that houses death row inmates like Eileen Wuornos and anyone else that you've seen on TV. And this is where all the big high profile criminals are, okay? So it's not like I was at some cupcake camp and that's why I didn't see any of this. I was in the roughest of the rough. So if it was gonna happen, it was gonna happen where I was at. And I'm just letting y'all know that a lot of the crazy stuff you see on TV really just didn't happen there, okay? Now, today we are going to talk about the 10 things that will get you into a fight almost 99% of the time. There are common sense things that will get you into a fight, like if you spit on somebody or if you steal from somebody or things like that, okay? That's like no-brainers. The 10 things I'm going to talk about today are things that you might do as somebody who doesn't know better, but if you do them, there is a pretty good chance you're going to get that tush kicked, okay? And if you don't get it kicked, you might kick theirs. Hey, it's whatever, but you're going to have to square off and probably fight if you get into this situation and commit one of these violations, these unspoken rules by mistake without knowing that they're unspoken rules. But these are the 10 things that will get you into a straight up knockdown, drag out, let's go to confinement type of thing, okay? So here we go. All right. Long ass intro. I'm sorry, y'all, but I had to give y'all the backstory. You know what I mean? Y'all, listen, I really feel like by now y'all know me a little bit at least, and I feel like you guys probably have caught on to the fact that I talk a lot, okay? I talk a lot in real life. I talk a lot on the videos. I am just a yippy yappy social ass person, okay? Okay, so to jump right into this, I use that term lightly because it's probably been like 4 minutes now. I don't want y'all to jump down my throat about this, so let's get right into it, okay? So the first thing that will get you into a fight in prison without you maybe even knowing is double dialing, okay? What is double dialing, you might ask? Double dialing is this. In every dorm, there are 1 to 2 phones. They're like pay phones. They just sit on the wall. They're not like, they are. They're pay phones. They sit on the wall. It's a pay phone and you call and whatever. You have 15 minutes per call. Now, little side note, I heard that the phone system is different now and you have like 30 minutes and it's a little bit, you know, more of a free kind of system, but this is what it has been since the beginning of time up until I think like 3 months ago, okay? So, double dialing is when you have your 15-minute phone call. Every night, the phones open at 5 o'clock. People rush to the phones. They bum rush the phones, right? They form a line or they make a written line. Now, either way, there is some semblance of order to use the phone. You don't just like walk up and say F everybody and go use it. You have to get in some sort of line. So when you are in line and it is your turn, you go and you dial. You talk. Hey mom, hey boyfriend, hey girlfriend, hey sister, hey brother, whoever, and you talk for 15 minutes. When that phone says, baby, you got 1 minute left for this phone call, you better utilize that last minute to say goodbye, because after that, you will not double dial, meaning you will not hang up the phone and turn your back and hope that nobody's looking and then secretly on the low like dial again. People try it all the time. They try to kind of like hide the payphone, shield it with their body so that people can't see you double dialing. But baby, there's a clock right above that door that leads to the payphone area and people watch it. And if you're on there for 16 minutes, they know your butt's double dialed. And let me tell you, you might get phone checked. And if you don't know what phone checked is, you don't want to know, okay? So you do not double dial. If you double dial, it is very likely that the next person or somebody in the line will come out and either phone check you by hanging up and snatching the phone out of your hand, at which point you kind of have to fight because you don't want to like look soft and weak, because that can lead to more problems. And even if you didn't want to fight at this point, you've been called out and phone checked. So you kind of have to fight now, okay? But if you don't double dial, you won't have any issues, okay? So just don't double dial. Make your one phone call, talk your 15 minutes, get back in line. You can always get back in line, but just don't double dial because you're probably going to get into a fight, okay? Moving right along. Number 2 thing that will likely get you into a fight in prison 99% of the time is called shower bumping, okay? You don't shower bump. Shower bumping is when you bump the line in the shower. Now, shower bumping can be done in a multitude of ways. It can be done in this way. The showers come on every day at a certain time, right, y'all? So the showers come on usually at 4 or 5. There's a few dorms where it's different because they have certain jobs where they come in very dirty and the girls will have to take a shower right then and they're allowed. But if you're in a traditional standard dorm, the showers will come on at 4 or 5. Now, before 4 or 5, even starting sometimes at 12 or 1 in the afternoon, people will claim their shower, okay? They will claim their shower by hanging a towel or a wash rag over the shower head. They will claim their shower by hanging a shower bag on the shower head, or by simply placing their shower bag with their name on it and their stuff in front of that shower. Because remember, in front of the showers, which you can watch my shower video, there is a wall and you can but you can place your bag on that wall and that corresponds with the shower head directly in front of it. If you shower bump somebody, it means that maybe that person that has marked that shower is on the toilet, or maybe they are getting a drink of water right when the showers come on. So everybody else is in, but that one shower's open. You walk in, you see the bag, you see the towel, you see the washcloth hanging, but no body's in there. There's not a physical body in there, but that shower is marked. Don't get your butt in that shower. Don't get your butt in that shower, because you're going to get your butt right out that shower when that person comes, okay? So that is one way to shower bump. Another way to shower bump is to wait for somebody to get out and not ask, is somebody behind you? but you're standing there and you're waiting and they get out. They might tell you, hey, so-and-so is behind me, but you don't care. And as soon as they get their body out of the water, you're getting in. So that person gets stressed and goes and tells, hey, Sheila, I'm out the shower. It's your turn. And you go. And now Susie Q has put her behind in the shower, right? She just shower bumped you. Now, it's not that all of these things, you guys, will lead to a fight every single time, but 99% of the time they will, because these things are very serious. Routine is very serious in prison. When you break somebody's routine or schedule, you debunk their entire evening, and people do not take kindly to that, okay? So, don't shower bump. Another way you can shower bump is by asking the person in the shower, hey, is anybody behind you? They clearly tell you, yes, so-and-so is behind me. But guess what? When you see that person that you asked come out, you don't wait for so-and-so to get in. You run and hurry up and get in, okay? There is a reasonable amount of time you can wait for somebody to come. Say it's been 5 minutes and that shower has been open. The person has not shown up. The courteous and kind and really acceptable thing to do would be to find the person and go ask them, hey, are you getting in the shower? Can I go before you? 9 times out of 10, y'all, if they're busy, they will say, go ahead, I'll be behind you. Problem solved. But if you do not go and ask, even if that person hasn't been around the bathroom area or said anything, and it's been a long time, you might get in the shower because it's okay, they've been missing for 10 or 15 minutes. They haven't shown up to claim their spot. It's fair game. Let me tell y'all something. Showers are a big deal, y'all, and I pray y'all never ever have to experience this, but it still will get you in a fight if you bump that person. So y'all just no shower bumping, okay? Please, just don't shower bump, all right? Just cut it out. Do not shower bump. Do not skip the shower line. Just follow the order that it's in and get your butt in the line somewhere, just like the phone line, and then wait your turn, okay? So, moving right along, the number 3 thing that will get you into a fight 99% of the time in prison is speaking over someone's food, okay? So, you might be in the day room, right? There are tables in the day room, which is the room that everyone hangs out with inside of the dorm. There are picnic tables outside. There are cafeteria tables in the chow hall. Doesn't matter where the bowl or the plate of food is, okay? If there is a plate of food somewhere, whether it's covered or not, but damn sure when it's not covered, don't do this for sure. But whether it's covered or not, y'all, it doesn't matter. Do not, whether there is a physical body in front of you or not, if there is a bowl of food there, do not lean over it or even get near it. I'm talking about don't even get within 2 feet of it and speak or talk to anybody across the room from you, next to you, across the table, anything like that. Don't talk over people's food. Talking over people's food will get you into a fight. People do not want your spit, your germs, and whatever little debris is floating around in your teeth to fly onto their food. Remember, you guys, that in prison, there's not much that you have that you call your own, okay? So when you have anything that is yours and just yours alone, you take it really serious, and women are really, and men, I'm sure, very protective over their food and their property. You don't talk over people's food. If that food was to become contaminated because you accidentally spit or something accidentally falls in it, I've seen people's dentures even fall out, a hair tie, anything. If something falls out in that person's food, you will very well owe that person that meal. You could very well owe that person whatever it costs to make that meal. And if you don't get money, or you don't have that right now, or you get very little money, you're going to be in a pickle because that person is going to want to be compensated for that meal. Money is not that easy to get in prison, and if you don't have support, it's a big deal to waste food. So don't talk over people's food, because if you happen to say something that causes something to fly out of your mouth and it lands on someone's food, baby, there is a damn good chance you're going to fight right then and there, okay? Don't do it, y'all. Just don't talk over people's food. If you see a plate of food, go a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, and have your conversation, okay? Don't even say hey, nothing, y'all. Just don't do it, okay? Okay. So The next thing that will get you into a fight in prison most of the time is consoling someone's girlfriend, okay? Now, you might be really good friends with Sally, okay? Sally might happen to be a stud, okay? A stud is a female that is more tomboyish and has more dominant attributes in the way they dress, in the way they handle themselves, in their mannerisms, and in their role in a relationship. So a stud is more like the dominant, manly, masculine role. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Y'all, I mean, y'all know what studs are, right? So I'm just gonna work under the presumption here that you guys know studs are the ones that look more boyish in a relationship, and in prison they really emulate that role, because like there's no men to be in a relationship with. So if you're not gay and you're just gay for the stay, which I explained in my other video, then you're gonna be more likely attracted to a dominant girl that's more boyish, right, than a real ditzy dingy, I shouldn't say ditzy and dingy, that's rude. Okay, a more dainty and feminine girl, right? So if you're attracted to that kind of female, and it's a stud, that stud will likely have a girlfriend, right? But even if you're not gay at all and you have no interest in that, you're not even gay for the stay, if you have a stud friend, and let's say you guys live in the dorm together, but that stud has a girlfriend who lives in another dorm and they're fighting, right? Say the stud is on her bed and she's crying because her and her girlfriend are going through it. And you go sit on her bed and you're like, oh, you know, Sally, okay, her name's not gonna be Sally, y'all, I'm just gonna be real. It's probably gonna be Sam or Stanley, okay? I'm just being real. Her name is not gonna be Sally. If she's a stud, her name is gonna be Stanley. So if Stanley is on the bed crying because her and her girlfriend are going through it, and you sit on the bed and you're like, oh, Stanley, I'm so sorry. Like, just trying to be a good friend, that's it. And they're fighting and somebody sees you consoling your legit friend, they're going to tell the girlfriend, because people in prison are messy. They just like to be messy. They like to spread gossip and drama and see chaos happen, you know? A lot of that goes on. So they will go tell the girlfriend, and the girlfriend is going to want to fight you because, number one, she has anger and it's probably misplaced anger. Number two, she's going to think that you're hitting on her girlfriend and trying to slide in where there's like a vulnerable moment. And number three, she's going to want to really claim and stake her property at this point, because whenever anyone in prison sees a fractured relationship, whoever likes either one of the two parties is going to try to slide in at that time. I mean, that's just like in life in general. You know, when you want something and you see a crack or a fracture in the relationship and you can slide in, a lot of people will try to take their shot and slide in at that moment, right? So if you are talking, being the shoulder to cry on, being the sounding board and whatever, like, just don't do it while they're fighting. Because if you try to console even a feminine girl, like if you're even consoling the feminine girl, that can cause problems. I use the stud thing as an example because that's like more common, but it can go both ways. Like if you're a stud and you're trying to console your feminine friend, you know, her stud girlfriend is going to think you're trying to slide in with her. Like, it doesn't matter how you chop it up or cut it. Do not console someone when they are going through it about their girlfriend in prison. If they're going through it about their family, about their case, about their girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or fiance in the free world, console them all day long. But if they are legit only upset because they're fighting with their girlfriend who is in prison with y'all, whether the girlfriend is around or not, all eyes on you, baby. Everybody's watching. The walls have eyes in prison. No lie. Officers are even messy. They will even go tell the other girl, don't console someone's girlfriend. You're going to get into a fight, okay? And usually the other person's going to be more angry because you're not angry at this point. You're just trying to be a friend. So, like, don't console them, because usually the person that's more angry wins the fight, no matter the size or anything else, okay? That's just like common sense fact. It's whoever has, it's not the size of the, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. That is so freaking true, y'all. Because literally, if you have all this rage going on inside of you, you could be a little person, like a small little petite person, and you could whoop some big person's ass because you have that fight in you. Your adrenaline's going. You got the anger, right? So let me not rabbit hole here, okay? Just don't console people's girlfriends when they're upset about fighting with their girlfriend in prison, okay? Don't do it. Bad move. Don't do it, okay? Moving right along. The next thing that will likely get you into a fight in prison is skipping in the canteen line, okay? Let me tell y'all something. There is not one thing, maybe Black Friday I could use as like a comparison, but I'm pretty sure, y'all, there's not one thing on God's green earth that I can even give y'all as an example to put you in the mindset of what it is like to get in this damn canteen line, y'all. It's like an Olympic event. I can't even, okay, you know how when the Olympics, like when they're doing the track thing and the gun shoots off and like you see the smoke in slow motion and like, it's just like this moment where you just know the people about to take off running are just like, buh, 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 buh. It's like that with the canteen. There is one store window, y'all, for between 60 to 300 women at a time. So even if you're at the low end of that, like let's say 60 women, okay, which like there's always more than 60, so that's not even realistic, but I'm just gonna be like generously low here. Even if there's 60 women in the canteen line, you only have like 2 hours to shop, okay? And every person is spending up to $100. And then the person behind the window that's selling you guys the canteen, which is all of your food, your hygiene, your drinks, your supplies, anything that you buy from the prison store, they are cooking, they are getting the stuff. There's only one person in that store, one person, that's it, to take your order, print the receipt, and then go run around the store and get you all of your things, put it in a bag, and then check you out, right? There's only one person doing that. And then if she has to cook food or anything like that, that's like a whole nother couple of minutes. So the canteen line is serious because, yeah, you might just want a chicken sandwich, but you also might need some pens and some stamps and some pads or a drink or ibuprofen. Like there's things in there you might really need to get through the week and you can't. Like imagine, y'all, if they shut Publix or wherever y'all go. Say they shut Publix down, okay, in your area, the Publix you go to. Say they shut it down forever, but they only open it one day a week. On Wednesday mornings, they open it from 8 a.m. to lunchtime to 12. And everybody in this area has to go do their grocery shopping for the week because they only open it one day a week. And you have to wait in a long ass line. Like this is what it's like, and it's ridiculous. Now, people will sell spots and in turn people will buy spots. That can help you along. What happens is it's a hustle. People that don't get money or that just want to make extra money will be on the door because once they open the door, it's like that gun shooting off in the Olympics. When they actually buzz and unlock the door, everybody runs to the canteen window and lines up, right? So there are people that will wake up super early on the day that it's your dorm to shop or on the canteen day when you guys are going to shop, right? So they will line up and they will stand right there at the door. First one, they'll hold on to that door handle so they can be the first ones to push out. And they'll run to the front of the line. When they run to the front of the line, they will stand there knowing they don't have any money on their account, but they will say, I got a spot up here for $3. I got a spot up here for $4. And then whoever's in the back, but they know they have money on their account, will buy that spot and will pay that person $4 for being able to jump to their spot in the line, and they will trade the spot body for body, okay? So there's nothing wrong with that because you're trading body for body. But if you don't trade body for body and you just see your homegirl at the front of the line and you mosey your way on up there and just decide to get in the line, no siree, don't do it. Don't do it, and don't try to sell a spot and then not get out of the line and just get right behind them, because there is only a certain amount of time, y'all, that you have to shop. And if you don't shop in that allotted time frame, you have to wait till the next time. The next time you shop might be one day from that day. It might be 7 days from that day. It might be 2 weeks from that day. Like, there's no telling. Okay, then you have to remember, y'all, people have jobs, people have things they have to do. So you can't always just go to the store when it's open. So you'd think they'd come up with a better system by now, but let's just say this. If you are in the canteen line and you decide to skip people, you are going to get checked and probably beat up. And I say beat up because it's not going to be one person that tries to fight you. It's going to be every single person that you skipped. Like everybody that you skipped is going to be on board and on the bandwagon of beating your butt because you just made it a little bit harder. You made it that much more harder for them to get to that window and get their necessities. And it's just not fair, okay? People take it seriously. Don't skip the canteen line. Wait your turn or buy a spot. Okay? Okay. All right, so moving right along. The next thing that can likely get you beat up in prison is putting your feet on someone's bed. Okay? Now, when I say feet, yes, of course, I mean feet with your shoes on. This can apply to like if you just have your bare feet or socks on because people in prison, like I said before, y'all, they don't have a lot to themselves. A lot is not yours. You don't have a lot of personal things where you can say, this is mine. I have domain over this. I say what goes in this area and nobody can do anything about it. Like you don't have that freedom. Besides losing your physical freedom, you don't have the freedom or the luxury of having something to call your own and having the power and control over that area or that decision or that whatever, right? So when you have your bed area, that is an area that you control. It is yours. You do with it as you wish. And you have to like make it a certain way and do all of that. And it's their supplies and their bedding and their linens, but it's your bed. Don't put your feet on someone else's bed. The reason why this happens a lot is because the beds are really close together, okay? They're about 2 feet apart. So if I'm sitting on my friend's bed, the next bed over is very close. And it's very easy to just take my feet and put it on someone's, like the next person's bed because there's metal frames all around the bed. So a lot of times people will put their feet on those metal frames. Now remember, everyone in prison wears shower slides. You wear shower slides all throughout the dorm. They're like your house slippers. So 99% of the time you have some sort of shoe on your foot, whether it's a shoe or whether it's a shower slide. Those shower slides are disgusting. They go in the shower where people pee, where there's menstrual blood, where there's little hairs from where people shave, where people put their boogers or hawk loogies or cough or brush their teeth. Like the bottom of those shower slides are funky as hell, okay? They're funky. They're funky, and I don't care if you are on the metal part of the bed frame. I don't want that slide anywhere in the vicinity of the blanket or comforter or bed sheet or pillow that I snuggle up to my face at night. Like, no, get that funky thing out of here, right? So even if it's like your neighbor that you talk to every single day and you think y'all are close, you're gonna find out how close y'all really are not when you go and put your funky shoe or your funky slide up on that bed rail, okay? Get beat the hell up if you want to. Don't do it, y'all. Don't do it. Keep your feet on the ground. Like everybody's grandma probably taught them, I'm sure. I didn't have my grandma, but I had a good mom and she taught me manners. So just don't put your feet on the bed. Like, okay, I just have to say this. Like, I know this is such a freaking, you know, like a rabbit hole. I hope I'm saying that right. Is it rabbit hole or is it, anyways, whatever. Like the tangents that you go on, I go on a lot of them. I was watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians when I got out of prison because I wanted to just see, like, because so many years had passed of that show going on, and I don't know, I kind of like it. It's like entertaining to me. But anyways, nonetheless, as I was watching that show, I watched every single one of the Kardashian sisters, especially like on their couches and stuff. They always have their tennis shoes on the bed. And like, I don't care if that tennis shoe is brand new. You walked somewhere with it, Miss Kardashian. Like, y'all walked somewhere with it, Kim K. Kim and Khloe are super crazy bad about it. Like, they literally will get in the bed or on the couch and just prop their little feet up there with the shoes on. I'm like, where is this okay at? Like, okay, y'all tell me, am I like crazy for thinking that? Or do y'all think that too? Because I really feel like that's just not, I don't like that. But nonetheless, okay, I'm getting out of the rabbit hole and I'm coming back onto the ground. Okay, no feet on the bed, okay? Okay, you guys, so the 7th thing that will most likely get you into a fight in prison is dry snitching, okay? Now, what is dry snitching, you might ask? Now, I know some of you guys know this, but for the ones that don't, I'm just gonna explain. Dry snitching is when you tell on somebody without telling on somebody. I'm gonna give you guys an example with a little dialogue here, okay? Here's Mr. Officer. Mr. Officer says, hey, I wonder what Sally does, because I hear she's been smoking a lot in the bathroom and I can't ever catch her, but that's what I heard. That is what Mr. Officer says to you. Now, you know Sally smokes in the bathroom. You know she's been lighting it up, blowing it up, and whatever. But for whatever reason, sometimes it's because you don't like the person. Sometimes it's because you don't like the act that they're committing that you're actually being asked about. Sometimes it's because you want brownie points with the officer. Sometimes it's because you're just a complete idiot and you just don't know any better. But whatever the reason is, when you dry snitch, you do this. You say, oh, Mr. Officer, yeah, about that Sally and that smoking. I don't know. I mean, you know what they say. You know what the Germans say. I don't know. They talk a lot. I don't know. I ain't saying anything though. You know, I'm not saying anything. Well, hello. You just said it. You just said it all. You know, I mean, you can't be expected to lie and cover for everybody, right? But a convict versus an inmate, I'll get into another video about convict versus inmate another day. But a convict will look at the officer and say, I don't know, Mr. Officer. I don't really know anything about that. That's it. Walk away. Nothing else. Cut, dry. That's it, right? But someone that's dry snitching will tell by not telling, and they will tell by not answering the question and doing little, you know, mannerisms and shrugs and, oh, I don't know, you know, something like that. And so therefore, you are now telling on somebody without telling. Now, if you dry snitch, yeah, you might get away with it, but if you start building a pattern of that, please believe that one of two things are going to happen, okay? Either somebody's going to walk by and hear you talking to that officer, because very rarely do you talk to the officers in private, okay? A lot of the times when you talk to the officers in private, people will walk by on purpose just to be nosy. And if they hear any snippet of conversation, they will run it back to whoever is being talked about. So people will tell. Number two, officers are human beings also. Whether it's a male or a female, they are just as messy and they like to see drama just as much as the girls in prison. So if you think that by you telling the officer something that you're going to win some sort of loyalty competition, please trust and believe, y'all. Listen to me when I tell you this right now. You will not ever get brownie points like that, okay? That officer eventually will tell the other inmate that you told on him. And if they don't tell that inmate, they'll tell somebody. If they have another inmate, if they talk to inmates like that, so personally, trust and believe there's some female in that prison that they're a lot closer to than they are to you. And when they're talking to that inmate, they're going to go back and say, yeah, man, I heard that Sally was smoking and I've never caught her, but you know, Susie, she pretty much said that she was. I mean, she didn't tell me like that, but she pretty much said it. And then that inmate's going to run it back to Sally and tell Sally that you told. So the officer will rat you out as quick as an inmate. You cannot trust them with information. So dry snitching is really bad because you really just want to be in survival mode in prison. And the best way to be in survival mode in prison is to mind your business. If you're minding your business and not other people's, you will not get caught up in anything. Because just being in a conversation where other people are being talked about can get you into a lot of trouble and a big issue. Like you can get seriously hurt behind being in the midst of a conversation where you said absolutely nothing, but you happened to be there while people were being talked about. Like, you can really get hurt. You can get cut in the face for it. Like, just don't do it. Don't dry snitch. Don't talk about people. And the best way to get out of those conversations, if you're ever directly confronted by an officer, you can dry snitch to other inmates too. Like, if someone's girlfriend comes up and says, hey, you're in the dorm with my girlfriend. Has she been going to so-and-so's bed every night? And you say, oh, I don't want to get into that. I just don't want to get into that. By you saying, I don't want to get into that, you're letting them know, yes. And believe me, when I tell you, that girlfriend's going to go to her girlfriend and say, you're on somebody's bed at night and so told me so. And then you're going to get confronted by the girlfriend, and that's it, period, point blank. Like, don't dry snitch. The best way out of that situation is always just to say, oh, I don't know anything about that. I really don't know. And walk away. Walk away quickly, and that's it. So, whether you dry snitch to officers or whether you dry snitch to other inmates about other inmates' business, don't dry snitch. Don't tell without telling. Mind your business. You always never know. You always never saw anything, and you always keep it moving, okay? No dry snitching, y'all. All right. I hope this never happens to y'all, but if God forbid, if anybody ever gets in trouble, which I really hope y'all don't, but if any of y'all do or have any family members, pass along these tips, because they'll save your butt. They will, okay? So, the 8th thing that could likely get you beat up or at the very least into a fight and put in confinement in prison is brushing your hair over someone's bed or personal property, okay? Their personal property can be anything from, again, their food, their clothes, their bed, their sheets while their sheets are drying in a communal area. It doesn't matter. Anything that belongs to someone else. Do not brush your hair over other people's things. Now, I hope what I'm about to say does not go left on me, and I hope it is not taken and misconstrued and misinterpreted. But there is not a lot of racial divide in the Florida women's prison, okay? I know in the men's, there's a lot of separation by race and gangs and things like that. But in the female prison, there's not a lot of separation based on race. However, one time where you will see over and over and over again where race is brought up, it was when it comes to hair. Okay, when it comes to hair, race is brought up over and over and over again. I'm going to tell you about what a lot of black people have said about white people's hair. I'm going to tell you a lot of things that white people have said about black people's hair. And I'm going to tell you the level of disgust that both sides have for the other, okay? Now, if you are brushing your hair in prison because you are just not naturally as healthy as you should be in there, because you don't get the food, the vitamins, and the nutrients that you also desperately need, that we also desperately need rather, because you don't get that, your hair sheds a little more than normal, and just things happen. Your skin's not as nice and shiny as it usually is. You're just not as healthy as you normally are, right? So your hair tends to shed a little more than normal, okay? Now, if you're brushing your hair in the shower, it is reasonable and acceptable and really, really highly favored to pick it up out of the drain once you get out of the shower. So, if that's the situation, you're good. But if you're brushing your hair in a communal area like the bed area or in the bathroom where maybe someone is very close to you brushing their teeth, or even in the day room if someone is doing your hair, like braiding it or something, and there's other people eating, it is very serious to not get hair in other people's food, on their bed, or on their personal property, okay? Now, a lot of white people will say about black people that their hairs look like private hairs, okay, like private part hairs. A lot of black people will say that the white people's hair sheds like crazy and smells like a wet dog or a moldy towel or blanket or a moldy article of clothing, okay? So when this happens, when either race finds another race, very particularly, and I don't like to bring the race issue up because I don't believe in it. I'm Spanish, I'm Dominican, and my mom's from Spain, and like I'm all the way 100% Spanish, but so to me it's like Dominican and Spain. I mean, I have European Spanish, I have island Spanish. My dad looks closer to an islander, my mom looks closer to a European. I've never grown up with any kind of racial divide in any way at all, right? But in prison, this is a big deal. So I have to talk about it. And this is not my personal opinion. I don't feel any type of way about white people's hair. I don't feel any type of way about black people's hair, okay? Hair is hair. If it's clean, I'm happy. If it's dirty, I'm not. That's it. That's where my divide comes in. Clean and dirty. That's it. But if you are brushing your hair and it happens to land on somebody else's bed, especially their bed, they will usually pick it up and start to, berate or talk badly or whatever if it's of the other race, okay? I don't know how this started or where it came from, but it literally happened like at least once a day. And when that happens, usually other people will chime in, because once you start talking about racial issues and racial things when it comes to people's hair and things they can't help because you're just born that way, like other people will usually start to chime in and defend whatever is being talked about badly, right? So you just do not want to do that, because if you're the one that initiated that, people are going to jump down your throat about it, and you're probably going to get beat up or like seriously hurt, because now you're talking bad about another race and you're talking bad about something they can't help because you're born with whatever hair you're born with. Like, that's it. It's just common knowledge that, hair sheds. It does. It sheds. So to avoid that, go to the bathroom and brush your hair like over the toilet or like over a sink, somewhere where you can pick it up. Or if you want to brush it in a communal area, just don't brush it while there's people eating or next to someone's bed where they have to sleep, okay? Don't brush your hair over people's stuff. That's it. Nothing else to say about it. That's all it is. Okay, moving right along. Okay, guys, so we're getting down to the 9th and 10th thing that will most likely get you into a fight. I saved these two for the end because these are more restricted to two-man cells, okay? Now, this does happen in the open dorms, but it doesn't happen as much because the open dorms have usually anywhere between like 7 and 12 sinks and like anywhere between 5 and 9 toilets, okay? So there is a lot more options. There's a lot more ways you can go about getting something done if you need to when it comes to a sink or a toilet. But when you're in a two-man cell, they lock the door and that toilet and that sink is all you have to use. Even if the doors are open and it's the middle of the day, you use your sink and your toilet for everything. And you use sinks and toilets for a lot more than just using the restroom and washing your hands or brushing your teeth. So because sinks and toilets become part of your little living space in a two-man cell, they are very, very cherished, and they are very, very decorated, and they are very much respected. So you do not do certain things to that sink and that toilet that, listen, if you don't know this, you're not even going to think this. So you might be brand spanking new to prison, you might be just like wet behind the ears. You don't even know this. You just got there. You get put in a two-man cell. It's your first night in there. You wake up next morning. You're brushing your teeth, right? After you brush your teeth over your sink in your room that you've been assigned to, what do you do with the mouth stuff that you've just brushed? You spit it in the sink, right? Wrong. You're gonna get a courtesy warning, okay? But if you do this the next day, because you're only gonna get one courtesy warning, especially when it comes to people's personal areas in prison, which when you're assigned to that room, that's your toilet and your sink, okay? You're gonna get one courtesy warning and then that's it, okay? You do not spit your toothpaste or anything from your mouth into that sink. You spit it into the toilet bowl and you flush it. And don't spit it and let any of the spittle land on the toilet seat, because if it does, you need to clean it up. Why can you not spit in the sink in a two-man cell? Why will you get beat up for that? You will get beat up for that because in prison, people wash their own clothes by hand. You can wash in one of 3 places. You can wash in the shower while you're showering. You can wash in a white bucket, like a 5-gallon bucket. You can wash in there with soap and water, like something you see on TV. Or if you're stuck in your room and it's late at night and you need to wash like your underwear, your uniform, whatever, you can wash in your little sink by hand. You don't want to wash in that sink if someone's spitting in there continuously, because you don't get bleach to clean with, and even though they're stainless steel and, you know, doesn't have pores and all of that, it's still really gross to think that I'm washing my personals or you know, something that I'm going to sleep with or my pillowcase in a sink where I know that you spit earlier and there might be a little residue left over. Like, that's just gross. People's mouths bleed sometimes, like whatever the case is. So you just don't spit in the sink. Also, people cook their food in that sink. So say you have like a pack of chili that's not hot. There's no microwaves at Lowell. Okay, there's microwaves in some other prisons, but there's none at Lowell. The only microwaves are in the canteen, and the only people privy to use those microwaves are the canteen operators. So you will a lot of times find people running the hot water in the sink that is located in their room with the pack of food running in that sink. And it's just kind of like a gross thought to have your food in an area where somebody else has spit. Even if it is closed, the packaging hasn't been opened, like, it doesn't matter. People just find it gross. And, you know, I tend to agree. So just don't spit in the sink, because the sink is utilized for a lot more than just washing your hands and brushing your teeth. It is also a makeshift laundry washing machine, or, you know, whatever. It's also a makeshift microwave or stove. And so, like, you just don't do that, okay? Don't spit in the sink. You might get a courtesy warning, but if you F up after that courtesy warning, your bunkie, your roommate, is probably going to get in that butt. Okay, just saying, don't spit in the sink, y'all, okay? That is in a two-man cell. In the open dorms, you can spit in the sink because people usually use a large sink to wash their clothes in. That is a designated sink to wash clothes in, and it's like in the corner. And if you don't wash in that sink because it's occupied or whatever, you will usually go and use a sink that people don't normally use to brush their teeth. They use just for washing clothes. So you don't have to worry about that. There's also fountains with hot water in the open dorms, and in those fountains you can actually heat your food up or heat the pack of food up or whatever with the hot water there, so you don't have to worry about it, okay? So two-man cells, don't spit in the sink, okay? The last thing that could very likely get you into a fight in prison if you are in a two-man cell is not courtesy flushing, okay? Now, this can also get you into a little bit of trouble in the open dorms because people will shower, and if you have, you know, if you're dropping the kids off at the pool and those turtle birds smell like the county dump or the local sewer, the people in the shower can smell it, okay? And if they can smell your turtle birds coming out of you and you're not courtesy flushing, you might have somebody get out of the shower and literally come check you while you're on the toilet in a very compromising position, and you don't want that. But it's even worse, y'all, if you're in a two-man cell and you're locked in the room. You're doing a turtle bird at night when you guys are locked in there. It's this little bitty, tiny little room, and you're locked in there and you're literally dropping turds as someone's head is like 3 feet away from you sleeping, okay? Or awake reading, right? It's already an uncomfortable situation. You don't want them smelling your turtle birds. So just like keep your hand on the flusher and keep flushing. I know it's bad for the environment. I know you don't want to waste water. I know all of these things, but in prison, it's a different set of rules. It's a different society. And if you don't courtesy flush while you're dropping your turtle birds, you could get potentially in a fight, okay? And you don't want to get swung on while you're sitting on the toilet mid turtle bird because, oh my God, that's not going to be good. It's just not going to be good. I don't even want, it's not even funny, but it's not going to be good, okay? So guys, those are the 10 things that can likely get you beat up or at the very least into a fight in a Florida state prison for females. Like I said, keep in mind every prison is different and every gender is different, every state is different. But in Florida, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the things are the same for all of our female prisons. We only have like a few here and everyone travels around. So a lot of the rules are carried from one prison to the next. And this is legit and this is very recent information because I haven't been out that long. So this is what it is, y'all. I really pray y'all never go to prison. Y'all aren't going to prison. We're just going to cast that out right now. I rebuke that and y'all are not going to prison, but God forbid you ever know somebody that does. These are some things that will be very helpful to them because these are some unspoken things that can really get you messed up, okay? There's a ton of unspoken rules, and I'll do a video on that later on. But this right here are just some things you need to know like right out the gate, because you don't want to do these things your first couple days and get beat up and not even know why or what's going on, right? Or at least get into a fight and go to jail, which, as you guys know from my last video, jail is confinement in prison, because that is what it's referred to. It's its own little world, and its own little world in prison has a jail, and that is solitary confinement, okay? So, guys, thank y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I love y'all, and I hope you guys give me a thumbs up. It's really an awesome way to help me out. It doesn't cost you anything to give me a thumbs up, but it helps me out and takes me even further. So I love y'all. Plus, it lets me know that you guys like the video. So I really would appreciate it. Subscribe, y'all, if you haven't subscribed. I don't know how the notification bell thing works. Like, I hope it works. I try to write some of you guys that I communicate with a little more and let you guys know that I have a new video out. But can someone let me know if like the notification bell works? Because I would love to not be harassing everybody like every week and telling you about my video when I don't want to make anyone feel obligated or pressured to watch my videos. Like, watch it for fun and entertainment, right? But I let you guys know, just to let you know, because I don't know if that notification freaking bell works. So can someone let me know if that works? And, you know, I love y'all. And I thank y'all. And I'm so happy to be doing this. And I hope y'all like and subscribe. And I will see y'all in a couple days with the true crime video. I'm doing a little bit more of the prison ones because you guys keep telling me those are the ones you like. So I'm going to go that direction a little more frequently and just sprinkle in some of the true crimes, okay? But nonetheless, I will see y'all here in a couple days. And I thank y'all so much for everything you do, okay? Love y'all. See you later. Oh, and a little side note, guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm like peeling a little bit right here. My eyes are like puffy right here and all kinds of stuff. I had a terrible allergic reaction to some retinol that I used because I used something else in conjunction with it. And my face is seriously going bonkers. Okay, it's going bananas. It's like, it hurts. It's puffy. It's like all... like, it's just bad, okay? So if you guys noticed any of that in the video, no, I'm not shedding my skin. I don't have anything crazy going on, but it was just bad. That's why it took me a couple more days to film this, because I look like bad, okay? But anyways, I just want to let y'all know that, because I know some of you guys worry about me, so just a disclaimer.